Hello, good evening, and welcome to the show. This is The Couch. My name is Amma Pratt. It's a lovely Tuesday evening, and so this evening we would be treating, a social issue. And if you've been watching the documentary that played before now, then you know exactly what our issue for this evening is. Tonight we are focusing on the Gambaga witch camp. The Gambaga witch camp. I've been there. It's an experience. If you go there, it's an experience. But for what's bringing it to focus for us now is just this weekend. Just this weekend, my colleague Ivy and some producers from Pan African TV were in Gambaga, and they experienced, the witch camp for themselves for the first time. And since being back, it's been a rave here. And I realized again that this is one of those perennial conversations. Something happens, we talk about it, we shelve it, and we wait till something happens again. Sometimes more serious than what happened the last time. And I keep asking myself, what's the main issue here? What are we getting wrong? What are we not getting right? So the conversation this evening is about the camp, what it stands for, if it should be kept the way it is. Really, what's the way forward? How do we move on? From what this. Of course, there are very deep cultural, spiritual issues, and I know that my guests this evening are the best people to have this conversation with. But also, I'm asking you to join the conversation. There's a WhatsApp line scrolling in front of the screen. We are also live now on Facebook. So please, what do you think about the Gambaga Witches Camp? Should it stay? Should it go? If it should go, what should become in its place? How do we deal with the people whose culture, sort of thrives on this notion of witchcraft, and how do we move on as a forward-looking, progressive people? That's our conversation. If you have the answers, please feel free to send them to the WhatsApp line or the Facebook page. My guest for this evening, two lovely ladies. They're ever stylish, Nolan Mensah. She's CEO, iGrid. Hey, boo. Hey. It's great to see you. Swagging on as always. I'm meeting Anita Asamoah for the first time. She's a public health professional and advocate. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
It's great to see you.
Thank you, my
It's great to
pleasure.
see you. Okay, so I've been there. Have you?
No, I've not
You haven't.
been to
Right,
Gambaga.
but you know of it.
Yeah, oh sure. Yeah.
What's your impression? Let's start from there. What do you think about the witches camp?
My first impression about it is, well, the question that really baffles me is, we have a word called wizardry, and we have a word called witchcraft. So it beats my mind that both men and women can be accused of such practices, which are seen as evil. But then why is it that it's the women who dominate these camps?
98%, we are told, just from watching the documentary.
98%.
98% of those who are there are women.
Why? Why is it the women? So that is the first impression I have about it. Why is it the women? Yes, and if you look into it, you realize that this connects directly with misogyny, the patriarchy. What is it about women that makes us view them as witches so easily? In society, you could do something as simple as talking too much as a woman, and you can be branded a witch. Probably in our part, our lack is that there's a lot of education here, and we know our rights, and in some ways, we know how to, demand our rights. So they can't throw us somewhere, lock us up because they are calling us a witch. If you are smart, you are called a witch. If you are assumed as too intelligent, you are branded a witch. If you don't have children, you are branded a witch.
If you have opinions.
Yes, if you have strong opinions, you are branded a witch. So pretty much, you don't really need to do anything spiritual or any evil. You just need to exist as a woman to stand the risk of being branded as a witch. So that is my first impression. Why the women? And these are the issues for me.
That's a solid one. Why the women? What's your first impression?
Oh yes, I mean, just like she mentioned, I see it as something against women, gender-based, because just like you mentioned, from the recent statistics of what was shown in the documentary, I mean, they were there live, you know, and they saw just the weekend, and they saw all what is happening there. So you should know it's gender biased. Now, I know witchcraft is something, I mean, witchcraft accusation, let me say, is something that is endemic among us in West Africa. In short, it's Africa generally, but very, very much endemic amongst us in West Africa. And in short, I can even say it's a pandemic because it's everywhere and it's ongoing all over Africa. So women are accused of witchcraft if the husband dies before she does, or even if when you marry a man and he maybe loses his job. Maybe you married a young guy and he loses his job, maybe due to circumstances, not you really, but because he got married to you and maybe a few months after he lost his job, the family would say that you brought him bad luck and you're a witch. When you have miscarriages, you would be termed, you'd be accused of maybe being a witch or a mami water. So you are eating up your children in the spiritual realm, and that is why you don't have children. You get it? So it is a gender, based thing. But then another thing, just like Noelle was saying, there are wizards as well. So why is it that when in the villages we don't have people accusing the old men as wizards? We just have people accusing the women in the families as witches. Why? If I'm not successful today, I may claim that it is my grandmother or my great aunt that is maybe, working against me or something. I wouldn't say that it is my grandfather. But we have wicked grandfathers and fathers and all that. So, it is something that is not even supposed to, we shouldn't even be having this conversation because it has become an annual perennial thing, just like you mentioned earlier on. And I think people are even tired of the topic already. You get it? So something should be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so I will take it a step further. So, the elephant in the room obviously, is gender based.
Yeah.
You can't have a situation that has 98% of the people that are affected being women and call it any other thing. The truth is that this which has come, it happens women.
Yeah.
As we speak today, there are 3 men there, and this is from the reports we got from this weekend. From Gambaga. 3, 1, 2, 3 men.
Yeah.
Of how many women that are there. But also for me, beyond the gender issue, it's also the economic, isn't it? It's also the economic.
To me, it's, for me, from my own angle, it's even a public health issue.
Right.
Yeah. It's a public, because people there, some of them have mental health issues.
Right.
When probably they are not witches. In quotes. You just accused me, you take me there, and then I'll just suddenly develop depression and the rest of them. So you see, it's a mental health issue for the country as a country.
And I'm not even, when I say economic, I'm not even looking at the bigger issue of state. I'm just looking at the individuals. I can't imagine anybody approaching a woman driving her V8 and accusing, and I've said
Thank
this
you.
so many times, and accusing her
Yeah.
of being a
So have you seen a rich man's wife being accused of witchcraft?
Can't imagine it.
Have you seen a rich man's wife being accused of witchcraft?
Imagine it.
Poverty is.
Poverty is the first drive for most diseases in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, in public health anyway. And so the same thing as this. Poverty is one of the drives.
Well, the main reason I think why most of these camps are found in the north is because the rate of poverty in that side is very high. And even in this side, the southern side or whatever, that we can say women are striving to make it economically and all of that. Women are being faced with all sort of violence. So how much more these women in such areas who is like their situation is kind of like hopeless. They they depend on their husbands and solely. So if their husband is the one casting them out, what do? Their children can't save them. The community can't save them. They have no businesses. They can't look after themselves. So they see these camps as safe havens where they can go and at least get something small to look after themselves. At least they'll be looked after over there. So yeah, economic imbalance when it comes to men and women. At least the men there hold the power somehow when it comes to finances. They work, they do their petty businesses. They are farmers who are breaking through in their own in their own rights and all of that. So it's like money in those parts affords you the ability to fight for your right.
Right.
And if you don't have it as a woman, having it even doesn't really save you, but not having it at all really puts you at risk of these things. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's go straight, because I don't like beating about the bush too. Do you think that this witches camp should be allowed to exist? And I'm saying this because the conversation has come up over and over and over again. We were in this country when one of our one of our suggested that she was going to do away
with the
and I've forgotten who. Honestly, I have. Who was it?
I think I
Do you remember?
I think I remember.
I remember vaguely that conversation became very strongly.
It was a woman.
Yes, somebody saying that we're going to do away with it and we're going to, in its place, put up hostels. It was a first lady. Put up hostels, and people saying, no, it's a safe haven, all of that. Let's, oh no. I am completely wrong. It was the then gender minister. The Honorable Member of Parliament, my MP, Adjoa Safo, who said that in her vetting, actually.
Yeah, I think she said she
vetting.
was
But
going to
someone
rebrand.
before her.
It had been said before her.
Someone before her
You're right.
mentioned
You're right.
something.
She was
of
repackaging the
that,
suggestion.
if I'm right. Yeah.
Right. And in this days, they were going to build hostels. Let's have a conversation. Listen, there's a misconception about it. I appreciate that. People think that it's a bad place that is more treating these women. If you go there, you realize that no, in actual fact, this is where they go for safety. I've been there, so I know that. But I still have my reservations about it. Perhaps let me start.
Okay.
I feel the presence of the place alone reinforces the stereotype that we want to do away with. I feel as though having a witches camp sort of accepts that indeed there are witches.
There are witches.
That's my difficulty. Beyond that, I feel as though the place doesn't engage. It just engages with the status quo. It perpetuates the status quo. It is there that they have these witches trials, where if the chicken falls on the back, it means you are not a witch. If it falls on the tummy, it means you are a witch. We are told that the chief there is so powerful that once the witches come there, he tames them. And so once they are there, they can't really manifest, their witchcraft. So for me, the witches camp sort of perpetuates the problem that I wish would go away. Let's accept that older women have menopause, they might act differently, they may have real mental health challenges that might make them act differently. It doesn't make them witches.
No.
You know, I wish we would engage the conversation head on, face on, and reorient our people to appreciate the real issues here, instead of staying on the spiritual, which for me, I'm sorry, it's neither here nor there. You know, so that's my difficulty with the witches camp, and that's why for somebody like me, I wish it would go away.
Yeah.
That's my position. I don't know what yours is.
Well, ultimately, I would say that I also wish it would go away. But the question is, what kind of measures are we putting in place to ensure that these women, when they are reintegrated back in society, they find safety, they are not discriminated against,
Exactly.
they are loved, they are supported, they are given the freedom to simply exist and belong. What is the guarantee? Economically, how are they going to care for themselves? Are the people in the community or their family who cast them out in the first place, are they willing to take them back? So there are so many things that need to be put in place. It has to be a comprehensive plan before we can demolish these camps. Other than that, I mean, there was a research in 2008 by Action Aid, and it states that about 40% of women, of the women that are reintegrated back into society or their community, about 40% of them return. And they say it is better for them to be at the camps than to be in the community, to be with their family.
I'm all for these safety homes, but can't we just have a safety home? Must we have a witches camp?
So, well, what you are saying, what she just said is right, because when they go back into the society or the communities, they won't be able to fit in, because first of all, you've branded the person as a witch. So that is a kind of, stigma. That's stigmatization already. And the person, no matter how good you are to the person, she wouldn't feel good. She would be suspicious of whatever you do or whatever you want. Even food, when you want to serve her food, she would be suspicious about the food. It's just like maybe typical movies, the Nigerian movies and the movies we watch, African movies, where you have a man maybe once catching the wife or something like that, she wants to poison him, just like the way they always, write their story, horrible
It's always
stories.
the woman
It's
poisoning
always
the man.
Yes. So you would say that the man wouldn't be comfortable maybe eating from the said wife again. So it's like that.
Yes.
Or it's like a boyfriend hurting you in a relationship and you want to go back to that person. You would be scared. You may want the person, but you will be scared. So first of all, the shelter you're talking about, is it sustainable? So we built these shelters. How is it going to be sustained? We know that we have issues already with the education, the free SHS system. The feeding is not that good. That is a fact. So if we do this as well, is it sustainable? You get it? That is another issue. And then the women, I don't really know how it is. Is it that they pay them for the services they offer, maybe in helping with the shea butter production, or they maybe give them some, startup money to start businesses or trades around the communities? I'm not too sure of that. So I think if all this can be thought of carefully, maybe we could come up with something. And in short, that the witch camp itself has to be bulldozed down completely, so that the people will know that now this thing is no more here. And then they set up, like, build new structures, so that they would understand that yes, this is a new place. This is not a witch's camp or whatever. This is like a home. So maybe you have maybe 2 women in a room, or maybe 3 women in a room, and in the morning they wake up, then they go about their business in town and come back. But really integrating back into where they came from, where they were branded as witches or accused as witches, I doubt they are going to be able to stay there no matter what. I doubt it. I doubt it. Because they will accuse them, re-accuse them again, and they may end up killing them.
Yes. Sensitization should be a major part of the things that should be done when we want to reintegrate these women. And in as much as we sensitize these women, the people in the community, the family members, and everybody has to be involved in the process.
And sorry, not to cut you, I think most people from that area, or I think the North generally, excuse me to say, I think they really believe like in that witchcraft thing.
Yes.
So
and the thing is that
it's an indoctrination that, you know, is with them, because I think it's more rampant there than I think this side of the country.
Every part of the country believes in witches.
But I think it's
more cultural
phenomenon, isn't it? I mean, almost everybody in this country is spiritual somewhat, and we believe in the force
of religion isn't helping.
Evil and good.
Absolutely.
And so far as you are deemed evil, there is a treatment that comes with it. But I also believe that no matter how deep-rooted this thing is, the only way to tackle it is by creating awareness.
But we've been doing this awareness as well.
Yeah, but that maybe we should find different ways of doing it, because indoctrination is just listening to certain things over a period of time.
It's from childhood, so it's embedded.
Listening to certain things for over a period of time, and attaching your belief system to it so strongly that nobody else can easily change your mind. And I believe the only way to get these words or beliefs out is also through words. Through words. So it's a long shot. But aside creating awareness, which addresses the psychology behind us treating women like this, I don't know how else. It's going to take awareness.
So and I think we have to really shift to the north and do more of the awareness creation.
For me, that is why I think that perhaps the first step, is solving the problem in a better way. That's the way I see it. Because if the way you choose to solve the problem perpetuates the belief, you haven't solved the problem.
Exactly.
Because if somebody is being accused of witchcraft, and your answer to that is to say, let's have a witches' court, and we are using a fowl, that's perpetuating the system. So if the fowl falls on the stomach, that's not telling the people that what's happening here is not witchcraft. That's agreeing with them that indeed there's something like witchcraft. It is real, it works. Now, the reason why they won't approach the camp is because there's a chief who is so powerful, and his power is so much
as a chief
that he can tame. I mean, he can tame.
And we can actually question that what methods is he using to even tame these women.
You see,
so that means he is a wizard as well.
No. Hold on. I don't get it. Let's not take it that far.
Because I don't get the logic. How is he able to tame them?
Apparently, he is empowered spiritually in a way that he can decipher evil from good, and
And so what are you saying?
Like some sort of a spiritual judge.
So isn't that wizardry?
So
I'd like to address a point that she raised, saying that we should pull down the whole witch camp and raise new infrastructure and all of that. I feel it goes beyond that. Now, if you take away those structures, make them new, make them posh, now it's left with the psychological, aspect of it. It's going to take a while for people to stop seeing it as witch camp. It's going to take, as if we change our names, okay? If you change our names, you see how long it can take for our friends to adjust. They call you by that old name. Oh, sorry. So it's a psychological thing. And it will take time. So it goes beyond the structure. I feel we should really find a way, probably we should find a way to understand the sort of spirituality or their beliefs very well, to find a way to address it.
Do you know, as you're speaking,
So-
something just
okay,
occurred to me.
okay.
And it's the fact that if you take that spiritual context away from the witch's camp, it's just another house
Yeah.
that can
Oh
be
yes,
attacked.
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm imagining that you build a duplex, whatever, and put these women in, and the chief who is there with all that part team is no longer available. People can just attack. Then it's just another house. It's just like a hotel. People could just go there, attack the place, and attack the women again. So, my goodness, it's a very tricky.
The awareness should also start from the schools. Ghana education can help as well, because the curriculum, it can be there, and you teach these children that there's nothing like that, so that from childhood they are, nurtured to know that you shouldn't accuse someone like that of witchcraft and stuff like that, and they wouldn't believe in it. You get it? That is one. And another thing also is enforcement of the law. I think the police can do that, but I don't know how that is feasible with the North, or maybe
No, I would like to go by
think
what
the
I heard
police
the coordinator
should
say. The coordinator
come
said
in.
in that interview that they don't work with the police. That's what the coordinator said, that they don't work with the
So
police.
why wouldn't they want to work with the police?
It doesn't work. It doesn't
Because
work.
without the police, you can't enforce the law, or maybe even take the person to court.
But he also said that we don't understand the situation. All of these laws we think we are sort of
Passing or
he said people would simply take the law into their own hands and kill them on your blind side. It's because you heard that you are passing a law, isn't it? It's because you saw that you would want to
maybe
jail
they are
some- what if
even
you don't
doing it.
see?
Maybe
At
they are
this time,
even
they'll be
doing
like,
it.
let's finish them quickly.
Maybe they are doing it
No,
secretly.
and he gave an example of, somebody who had been killed, who was killed in his sleep. He just burned down the whole house with the person in there in his sleep. So by morning, fire.
That's
How would you
arson.
connect
wouldn't
it
know.
to
Anyone or
murdering
whoever,
somebody because
yeah,
the person is a witch?
or an arson or whatever.
It's a terribly tricky situation.
Yes. And I think in most cases, people's attachment to their beliefs triumphs their respect for the law. So far as, all over the world, we see it. We see this being demonstrated. People believe so much that if they kill somebody, there are some cultures or religions that believe if they kill people, I don't know, they will have a, I don't know. It's like a holy act.
Oh yeah, that's the
like they are doing justice. They are doing the work of God for God.
yeah.
You are a witch. You are evil. You don't deserve to live because you can kill. Why should you live?
Yeah.
So it's like you said, it's a very tricky situation that somebody can even know that they are going to face the law if they harm somebody, but they still do it because they are so in tune with their belief system that they lose sight of the law. And I think we have been failed by the law somehow.
The state.
We haven't failed. These women haven't failed. These women, they are citizens of the republic. They are human beings, and they deserve all the freedom, the liberty,
Of
the
course.
protection
The whole thing
that
is
every
against
human being
human
deserves.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe the law must really be enforced.
But
Because if
they're saying they don't work with the police, so how do you enforce the law?
to the point that if you accuse somebody of being a witch, it should be criminalized. Because it's easier for the law to deal with these things if it is really well implemented.
That's
than us
just what I think.
Talking,
anyway.
trying to convince people that it is wrong.
Yeah.
If a few people have done it, now watch one you would see the law being implemented.
You
So
have
you
to
be
use
careful.
some people as scapegoats for them to know that the
Be
law
careful.
can be implemented
But-
or has been implemented.
It's almost as if the law
So
has
they're
turned
saying they
its
don't
face.
work with the police. No.
It has turned its face, and they don't have to have a choice.
Yeah,
Because so far as
exactly.
they are citizens of the country, the law must protect them.
Thank
It
you.
is not up to a leader at the camp to say we don't work with the
No,
police
no, no.
and this is a norm. The law
audacity.
is greater than
Yes.
that the authority these people
Hold
hold.
on. Let's not misunderstand. All he's saying is that bringing in the police doesn't help. He's saying that he's not saying I'm refusing to work with the police. He's just
Yeah.
saying that over time and through the experiences
end.
they have had,
Dead end.
it doesn't work.
I mean,
It doesn't work.
So
I agree 100% with you about the responsibility of the state to us as citizens. And I agree with you that it feels as if we have all decided to pretend this is not happening.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's happening. And we know that it's happening. It's like everybody, it's like the white elephant that's just there.
Yeah.
You know? Because the only agency with enough power to deal with this is the state. That's it. And if the state has the commitment to do something about this, something will be done about this.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
the state, yes, the state, but the ministry itself that is, you know, supposed to handle this, I don't know if they are even working now anyway. I don't really know, because I think for some time now the woman has been on leave or something like that, and we don't even hear anything from the Ministry of Gender, so we don't really know if they are actually working in that ministry, excuse me to say, and they are being paid. So they should start, we should start from there.
Let me read a few
Start
of the
from there.
messages that have come in. This one says, it's our culture. Let's go back and look at how it started, which for me is very interesting. This issue about culture. The thing is killing us. We want to
So the
insist-
witchcraft is our culture.
The funny thing is that
The witchcraft
whenever
is our culture.
you know, the people who like to sing that song, culture, it's our culture. So we can't do much about it. It's the status quo. It's our culture. We came to meet it. Most of the times, when it comes to issues, it's not like a gender battle, but when it comes to issues relating to men, it's like we find a lot of flexibility to
Around
adapt. Because, for instance, let me give you a very simple example.
Right.
Up to date, if a man purchases a washing machine, takes it home, he can have friends who will question him, hey, you want your wife to be lazy. But the man does manly jobs around the house and he outsources them, and it's okay for everybody. So we maintain the culture when it has to do with women. But we are not okay when it has to do with men.
For instance, you can have a gardener, and that's perfectly
And that's
fine.
perfectly fine. But if
That's
a woman
perfectly
doesn't
fine.
get
But
up,
a woman-
and
you
it's
can
no
have
sense
like a woman
sweeping the house and all of
says-
that.
yeah. If you want to hire a
we are not
cook-
okay with it, because traditionally women are supposed to be doing those things, and we are not okay. So
I've never really looked at it like that
Yeah.
before.
we like to maintain culture, the status quo, usually when it has to do with women. Up to date, that women are working so hard, they are soaring in the corporate space and everything. We want them to leave their jobs, cut down work time and all of that, to come back home to do
back
their
home.
traditional duties. Why are we not asking the men to go into the bush to hunt for meat, for the women to cook? They have been left to outsource and move away from this culture, and it's okay.
Outsource.
So why are we interested in maintaining these cultures that are harmful to women?
So when it has to do with, women, men, they find excuses. That's just it.
Excuses, yes.
We find excuses,
And it's
then
just all
blame
part
the
of
women.
gender inequality in society, I guess.
Patrick from Obuasi says the reason why most women are accused of witchcraft is that since creation, women are still the friend of Satan.
Hey, what?
Women curse each other when there's misunderstanding.
Really?
They fight against their fellow women. Some women can even vow not to talk to other fellow women because of a quarrel. When two men fight, they will reconcile the next day. But women, it can take them their whole life on earth. I want to look at his face.
Is that on
This,
Facebook?
I want to. No, this is
quite silly, because
I want to look at
he's
his
talking
face.
from a religious point of view.
But how come
there's a story
women-
of Cain and Abel? If you are talking about since Bible days, there's a story of Cain and Abel. Cain ain't a woman. Abel ain't a woman. They are men, and they what happened happened.
So when did we become the friend of say?
There is a story about the serpent brought the fruit and gave the fruit to the woman.
Oh my God!
So women are the friends of
the
Satan.
devil.
You know, all of this comes from there.
So it's just religion.
And, you know, the fact that in society we feel it's okay to blame women when things are not going well with us. It dates back to the Bible. I mean, Adam could have taken responsibility of his actions.
Yes.
But when God came, he said, it's the woman you gave me.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing today. They don't take responsibility. Humans like that. We don't like to take responsibilities for our life. You are lazy, you are not working hard, or whatever reason that has to do with you. But it's so convenient for you to blame your grandmother or your mom or your sisters. It's so convenient.
The sister. Usually, it's the sisters that are blamed. The mother, the grandmother, the grand aunt who is old and has refused to die, and then just because maybe her health, she has good health, and you know she's still alive. You feel, oh, she's the one eating us and eating our good luck and whatever.
Well, and what betides you if you are an old woman in the house and you outlive young ones? You are the ones snatching their lives.
Exactly.
To prolong yours.
Yes.
When do women ever win?
Yeah.
You can't even live long in peace.
We can't. You want to live long in peace?
Then that means you have to be in the city, or
you want to live long in peace.
For the rural communities. No.
Okay, this one says, good evening, I'm a great work. His name is Don Cross from Kotoku. I hope I got that
Kotoku,
right.
Yeah.
Kotoku. Now, it's what's the way forward?
Awareness.
You know, as a public health professional and advocate, let me start with you, Anita.
Yep.
What's the way forward?
Awareness, more awareness. That's just what we have to do, because every day we talk about these things. So more awareness and mental health awareness. You know, because some of these women, maybe sometimes too, the people or the family members see that they behave in certain ways, and that is why maybe they accuse them of these things. So it could be mental health issues. So I think we should take mental health, awareness seriously.
Right.
And it should be in the local languages. We should move there en masse and really do this thing maybe, for a year and see how it's going to have an impact, and evaluate it later, and let's see, maybe there will be changes. You get it? Because let's do it like, okay, maybe let's say 2 years, then we'll stop and evaluate and see maybe what has the effect of what we went to do there. I think we really have to do something as a country, move there and create more awareness and educate the men, educate the women. You get it? Some of them, maybe we have to screen them and see if they have issues so that they can go into hospitals, access free health care, see psychiatrists or psychologists if possible. People that they can talk to easily in their own local language. Psychologists that speak, their local language, the Wala, the whatever languages they speak, the Gumba and all those languages. I think that would help, because for some, I know that something triggers the community members or family members to accuse them, these women. You get it? So, and that could be maybe mental health issue. So maybe I wake up today and I'm not behaving well. Probably I had a bad dream. It's having an effect on me and I'm misbehaving sort of. And then you just feel that it is witchcraft, or maybe it is the repercussion of what maybe I had done as a witch before that is hunting me. So I think just more education and awareness. I think that's just what we have to do. All this money they push into unnecessary things, I think we should push some there and create more awareness. And then GES should help as well, so that they could put this in the curriculum. It may not be in the curriculum as in maybe they are going to write exams about it, but it should be taught. maybe in moral studies or whatever, so that these children would grow up and know that this is wrong. You don't accuse a woman, a man of such things. They are ridiculous. So that is just because the way it's going is, it seems we talk, and still come back to the same point, the roundabout. So it's just like a roundabout.
Right.
Yeah.
Don Cross has sent another message. He says, Amma, trust me, nothing will change. Depressing.
Okay, God be with you, Don Cross.
Oh, well, because he feels, he knows our system. He knows, all know how it is. We talk. When the campaign time is comes up now, everybody will come and make promises and all that, but nothing happens. Nothing happens. So I mean, people lose hope. You see, so people have lost hope in the government, in our leaders, and all that, in the parliament as well as a whole. So it is not just only Don Cross, but I mean, we keep hope alive. Maybe something may change.
Something may change.
Yeah.
Now, Idris Ahmed says, this is Ahmed monitoring from Tamale. Hi, Ahmed.
Okay.
Hi, Ahmed. Anyway, Noeline.
Ahmed should tell us what he thinks. He is there in Tamale.
Right.
I want to make a comment about something Anita said. So she was talking about creating awareness about mental health. And I mean, even over here, where literacy is high, we don't have much knowledge on mental health issues. Even the things that we ourselves go through, we don't understand
exactly
the challenges that we have. And I feel increasing awareness on mental health will be a very strategic way to shift mindset, because once people are so attached to their belief system, if you go and you're directly talking to them, trying to show them alternative ways of seeing this spiritually, they become defensive.
Right.
They become defensive.
Yeah, exactly.
So they won't listen at all. The awareness on that angle won't work. But probably let's pretend for a minute that we don't even know that it has to do with their spiritual
religion
or whatever, and just create more awareness about mental health. Let them know that this is how the human brain works.
Yeah.
This is how it functions. Sometimes it can malfunction in some ways, and it is being exhibited through our behavior sometimes. Women go through dementia, men do as well.
Yeah.
Make them understand that these are typically health issues. And if we do this, perhaps they'll begin to see it as health issues as opposed to
the witchcraft,
seeing it as spiritual issues. Then they themselves will do the inner work. You know, this is just to give them an alternative way of seeing this, so that it starts from them questioning themselves.
Yeah. So
if there's something like dementia, probably this my grandma, this plenty talking, it's not witchcraft to, then they start questioning themselves, looking at it from a different point.
We can have community lead. We can have community head. I mean, not the chiefs now. So in some of the communities, they can create something like, maybe in this constituency or whatever, there's a leader, a mental health advocate. You train the person is there, she or he goes round and educates the people on ground. You know, he's there, he lives amongst them, he knows, he hears the news, he knows what is happening, talks to them. So we train them, we get people like that in those areas, train them, and they are there, they can give you feedback if you are not there.
Yeah.
I think that too will help. I mean, buttressing.
But I think most importantly, the people that we need to get on board if we are going to work this out is religious leaders. Spiritual people listen to nobody better than their religious leaders.
Their leaders.
They listen to their religious leaders more than the president of the country.
Yeah.
It's what they say that goes. So if these leaders are sensitized and they can lead the charge in shifting these mindsets, I think it will be great.
Right.
Because they will listen.
Right.
But for now, now I don't think they involve them, right?
Yes.
Let's listen to Carla White on Facebook. She says, it's actually just a shout out. She says, this is Diane. Team I grade.
Yeah.
Watching live. Personally, I cannot imagine blaming anything other than myself for the results of my own actions and inactions. I can't imagine that a human being outside of myself, a human being, can be responsible for, not physically, but spiritually be responsible for something that happens. The concept is so strange, such a strange alien concept to me, that I find it so strange that it's so imbibed in our culture. I find it so strange that we what's the word? It's just shocking to the extent that we believe in it so much that we are willing to kill for it.
It's religion.
When you look at it the other way, for instance, if you were thinking about a serial murderer, which is an example, brilliant example that the coordinator gives, that if we all knew of somebody who is killing within the society, all of us would. It would be important to us that this person doesn't continue to live, and that's how the people think. That this is somebody that's killing people in the community. We have to stop here. Sort of. So, but it's a whole
how do they even come about that, knowing that this person killed this person? How do they find out?
I think, should I say Africans or humans in general, but let me just limit it to Africa. I think we really struggle with self-accountability. It's easier for us to shift the blame to other people than to,
accept.
Look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror and tell ourselves we are the cause of this. Our actions or other factors that we cannot explain.
That life happens.
We could just leave it at that. Other factors that we cannot explain. But it's always easier to shift it on. It's a culture.
Is it culture?
Or religion? Culture. No, culture as in it's become our lifestyle.
Yeah, it's become our lifestyle. Yeah.
In school, at church, at home.
Yes.
People struggle with self-accountability.
It's the
you blame the demons and pray.
It's a very lazy way out.
It's a lazy way out.
And pray and bind the evil spirit and all that. Instead of maybe knowing that it's your own laziness that's not making you maybe, get the job or the business to run.
Right. So, I mean, Anita, you propose education. That specifically we go
to the northern
Gambaga and sensitize the people. You also suggest the Ghana Education Service as a means of starting early, catching
the children,
them while they are young. Nolene, you suggest, of course, that is the government's responsibility.
Then I mentioned the mental health aspect of it.
Right. And you speak to that as well.
Yes, the mental health as a smart approach. In dealing with this. Whilst we cannot immediately demolish these structures, rebuild, make it more comfortable and whatever. I think what we can do is to try to introduce some level of comfort there.
Okay.
So that, in terms of security, we should check on them. Are they? This place is called a safe haven, but are they really safe?
How safe are they?
They are at the risk of sexual abuse. How is their menstrual health?
I think most of them too are menopause, right?
Menopausal.
So they have their own symptoms too.
How is their care like? For now that they are there, let's just make sure we bring them that level of comfort.
So do their children check up?
And this thing has a ripple effect on children as well.
So they don't even come there?
No, some of them, their children live there.
Oh.
And some of them, when they are sent there, they send their children,
younger children
along to serve them. And this means these children are, and they are mostly girls too.
Oh, definitely.
They are taken out of school.
Definitely.
They are missing out on these important fundamental stages of their life where they shouldn't find themselves in such spaces.
And this is in their mind. They grow up with it. And how do you expect the person to even be okay?
No, the thing with this thing is that sometimes the more you listen to something, the more someone tells you something about yourself, keeps repeating it, you start to believe it.
Right. Yeah.
So these are women that I believe are going to, if you try to save them, they'll be like, leave me. I'm truly a witch. They've heard it. It's in their subconscious. It's in their mind. They are stuck with it. It's becoming their identity. And so now they don't even feel they belong or they deserve the saving that you are probably bringing to them. So it's really, it's going to take a lot of psychological work. A lot.
It's a lot. I think that in some instances, I mean, if you're going to keep beating me and what seems to be the way out for me to admit to being a witch, then I'm a witch.
Yeah.
If admitting that I'm a witch would
lessen the
if it would let you just stop beating me,
or
then I would admit to
bad
being a witch, so that
the maltreatment and all that.
Beating me. Our time is up. Our time is up. Let me just give 1 second each. If there's anything else that any of you would like to say on this matter.
Well, for me, it is just the mental health education. This really has to be taken seriously by the Ghana Health Service, the Ghana Education Service, GES, GHS, the Ghana Psychological Council as well, and the Psychiatric Association. I think they should all come in and find a way. I know maybe some people will say propose some committees and all that. They'll go and sit and have tea and take monies and all that. At the end of the day, nothing will happen. But please and please, Parliament, let them look into this so that this is abolished once and for all.
Right.
And we don't come back every year talking about this is 2022 January and we are still discussing this. I mean, it's a shame.
It's a shame on all of us.
Yeah, as a country, you get it. So
on all of us. Thank you.
Thank
you, Anita. Come in, Nolene.
It's this issue we are discussing is an explicit issue of human rights, and I feel the law should be firm on it. The law should be implemented properly for people to know that there are consequences if they violate women in any way at all. The law should be seen working. Then that way, we wouldn't even need to go in to talk so much. The law should be seen working. I think that is the most important thing.
They don't work with the police. I think.
No, probably because
they should look at it again.
Probably because when people deal with issues and they try to bring in police for a while and it gets nowhere. Okay. It gets to a point when it happens again, they don't even bother. They don't even bother. So I think probably that is what is happening over there.
All right.
Yes. But the law must be seen working.
It should be deterrent enough.
Seriously.
It should be deterrent enough.
Yes.
We also have this message just now. It says the DC over there needs to use the district health institution over there to educate the assembly members and unit committee members so that community education from the members will open people's minds. And that will surely end this belief. His name is Honorable Boateng from the Ashanti region. I agree with you both.
So people living there.
A combination of all of these solutions hopefully should help us to make some headway, where this issue is. As a Ghanaian, I'm terribly ashamed. Yeah.
I mean, I was telling
we still have a witch camp where women are taken predominantly 98% of women
appalling.
are taken for being witches.
When you told me,
I have to end the show. Our time is up. What did you want to say?
Oh no, it's okay. I was like, someone was telling me that this issue we're just going around, just like we were saying.
Right.
I mean,
right. But we need to have some finality.
Yeah.
We definitely need it. It can't go on and on
Hopefully.
and on and on and on. So this has been our show. We trust that this will spark up some conversation again. You know, as a people, I think we love to talk. That's all we do. We talk. But the point of the state, the point of having a government, is such that when we talk and talk, action is taken. This is 2022, and we are still here talking about the Gambaga witches.